All right, guys. So I got a request to do a 50-50 3-3-4-4. So the trick with these 50-50 schedules or any of the custody schedules is you've got to pay attention to the nights because the nights are the only thing that matter. So what you're looking at is 3 nights with mom, 3 nights with dad, 4 nights with mom, 4 nights with dad, and then 3 nights with mom, 3 nights with dad. And it just continues to repeat over and over. So the key with these custody schedules is when you want the schedules to start. Obviously, it's easy to do it from the 1st of January and then just continue to build a calendar from that time on. If you're going through a custody situation, obviously your lawyers, or if you're not doing a custody situation and you guys are actually working it out and you guys are fine with doing your own 50-50, you may want to get yourself a calendar, like a physical calendar, or maybe use like a Google Calendar to keep track of your days. So how this works is mom would have the kids Sunday, and basically if the kids in school or daycare, mom would do pick up and drop off Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, she'll do the drop off to daycare at a school, and then dad would pick up the kid on Wednesday. Now, this is going to go on throughout the entire week, and then on Saturday, mom and dad would meet at some point before the night's over. So it could be early morning, 9 a.m., or midday, whatever you guys agree on. And from there, mom is going to get that Saturday night. So that's the start of her 4. So we're officially done with the 3-3 part. Mom, same thing as last week. If you look at the entire calendar, you're going to notice a trend. Mom's always going to have Sunday night, Monday night, and Tuesday night. So when you see those days, don't think of the actual day. Think of the night, because the nights are the only things that count in this whole custody situation. Dad, you're always going to have Wednesday night, Thursday night, and Friday night. The only thing that's really changing is the weekend, which is great, because if this was like, let's say, a 4-4-3-3, it's possible that one parent's going to get the entire, he or she is always going to get the weekend. So the 3-3-4-4 is actually pretty good, because as you look at you zoom out and you look at the calendar as a whole, you can see that the parents are alternating the weekends, and that's the best situation. The kid will get used to the schedule. A lot of people will say because the kid's having to deal with 2 different households and split time, it's gonna be kind of tricky for the kid, but kids adapt faster than people think. So all of these custody plans, they'll work for the kid. They'll be happy to have both parents in their life. Now, one thing you got to watch out for is if your kid's in grade school, you're split in the middle of the week. So a project could be due. So if you start the project at mom's house, but the project's due on Thursday, then obviously you're going to have to figure out a way to get that project over to dad. So that's the only thing that may get a little bit tricky. And most of these 50-50 plans, it's better for the parents to live within the same county or close, because it just makes the logistics easy. But if they're in school, it really doesn't matter, because you're not doing the exchange until the weekend anyways. That's the only tricky thing about this 50-50 and why I wouldn't do it, because I'd have to meet up with my baby mother every weekend. So it's, you'd meet up somewhere neutral, or if you guys are cool like you should be. Don't know what's going on with this new generation where everybody's just angry at each other, and you can't just not necessarily be friends, but just do what's in the best interest of the child. But if you guys are, you guys can talk, you can meet halfway somewhere and do the exchange on the weekends. But if you guys are, I don't know, if you guys are super toxic, it has to happen. if it's that bad, you guys obviously will meet somewhere like a police station. The good thing about the exchange on the weekend is if your kid's in daycare or school, you guys don't have to see each other. So mom do drop-offs Wednesday morning, dad picks up Wednesday evening. You guys never have to see each other until the weekend. But that's the thing, y'all have to see each other, so that's something you got to consider. Now, there are situations that might come up like holidays, and the holidays may make this a little tricky. Usually what you got to do is if the child is having an off day on Wednesday, dad can meet up with mom somewhere and take the kid because it's going to be dad's night anyways. So even if mom watches the kid in the day, you guys are going to have to meet up at some point. Outside of that, this isn't a bad schedule, especially if you guys, again, aren't really in a situation where you guys are like, oh, I can't see this other person. This is not a bad schedule. If you guys are okay with seeing each other, just know you're going to see each other every weekend. You're going to meet up somewhere, the mall, police station if you guys are crazy, which I've never had to do it, even though I don't think my situation is the best situation. It's definitely not the worst because some people have to meet at police stations. So every weekend, you're going to meet. This would be the best way to go about it. Obviously, the schedule could look a little bit different depending on how you start the schedule. Like if you were to start it on Monday, then all the graphs are going to shift over one day. But this is assuming that you're starting the schedule on the Sunday.